translation this morning. We're going to ask a question: what happens and what happens when you are hearing the Megillah and you missed one word, and there may be too much noise, or there may be something going on. You hear everything except for one word of the Megillah. Do you have to go ahead and hear the whole Megillah again? What if it was like in the last psukim or something? Yeah. Do you have to hear the whole Megillah again, or can you say, you know what, just swing it? So, since the Megillah is called Igeret, which means it's one scroll, there are some sensitivities to it. Up until now, we spoke about the leniencies of Megillah, right? When it comes to leniencies, but because the Megillah is called a scroll, which means that it has to be written, but also read and delivered in one consistent fashion. We cannot miss even one word of the Megillah. So what do? So the best thing so we can rely on something on halakha, but we're going to say what we rely on, but the answer is like this. What do you do if you miss one word? Make sure you always have in front of you your own Megillah. If you can have your own Megillah parchment, you're following in the words, perfect. And that word that you didn't hear from the Chazan, you just read it from your own Megillah. If you don't have your own parchment Megillah, then even a copy from a chumash, from a piece of printed paper, you have the words, then you can say it from where it's written, and then you can make up for it that way. Why? You didn't hear it from the Chazan that's reading it from the real parchment. How can you make up for from a printed Megillah as long as you're reading it? Because there's another halakha that says about a Megillah that has some about a person that read the Megillah, that knows the Megillah so well that they read some of it by heart without reading it from inside. So if it's not in the very beginning of the Megillah, and if it's not in the very end of the Megillah, but it's somewhere in the middle of the Megillah, that you know it so well that you read it by heart, you still did the mitzvah. So why is that so much better than reading it from a printed piece of paper? And that's why we should all have a copy of a Megillah in front of us. Not just say, listen, I'm listening it to. No, have a copy. Because sometimes things happen. And you just miss a word, or something fell, or you moved for a minute, or something happened. And so we always keep a Megillah, focus on the Megillah, and that's how we do. And there's a very interesting halakha in the Ramah that says that a person that speaks in the middle of the Megillah, a person that reads the Chazan that reads the Megillah, that speaks in the middle of the Megillah, go'arim bo. Go'arim bo means we tell him what's good. We kind of we counter him with some. Maybe it's called rebuke, maybe it's called this awakening and telling you, hey, stop. Megillah, it's very sensitive, and we try to be fully focused and attain to that, and that's the idea. So just to conclude, what happens if you miss a word of the Megillah, you unfortunately did not fulfill the mitzvah, and you have to hear the whole thing again. However, if you have a copy of a Megillah in front of you, you could read it from that copy. So you didn't hear from the Chazan or the Rabbi, you could quickly hear from that copy, and that is sufficient to make up for those lost words. Amen.